Okay, Google, show me an evolution denier with a really amusing surname. His surname's just numbers. That's not funny. Show us another one. Howdo viewer, and welcome back to my little corner of the YouTube. I am Mr. Jones. If you like the video, please drop us a like, drop us a comment, even drop us a subscription if you please. Yeah, that was funny. Made me laugh. Beavis and Butthead. I've no idea why they popped into my head while I was doing this video. Anyway, today I am tackling the subject of evolution, or particularly evolution deniers, because as Aaron Ra once said, there is more evidence for the theory of evolution than any other, like the Big Bang or any other theories out there. And there's more evidence for evolution. So I am tackling Mr. Kyle Butt. No laughing at the back, please. Stop sniggering. Mr. Kyle Butt, who has done a video about proof for God and 6 reasons not to believe in evolution, or trying to disprove evolution, because apparently this magical sky wizard made everything in 6 days, apparently. Anyway, I'm going to show you how dishonest he is, and I am going to, I'll admit it's not a subject I know a lot about, so I'm doing some of this from memory, and I did a lot of research yesterday, with today being Wednesday, of course, Wacky Wednesday day. So I'm doing some of this from memory, from what I learned at school. I didn't go to college, I didn't go to university, so I'm doing some of it from memory. And like I say, I'm going to do a bit of research and have some evidence on why he's wrong on each of his points. So tune in, turn on, and drop in. Yeah, get on with it, Kyle.
In the year 2002, in Cobb County, Georgia, there was a sticker that was placed on the inside cover of the biology textbooks. That sticker simply said that these textbooks contain information on evolution. Evolution is a theory, not a fact, about living organisms, and it should be looked at with an open mind, studied carefully, and critically considered.
And straight off the bat, you're being dishonest, because a little bit of research goes a long way. I looked into Cobb County, and this is what I found on Wikipedia. I do hope you can see this. If you can't, I'm going to read it out for you. Salmon versus Cobb County School District. This is a legal battle. This is on Wikipedia, so you can go and have a look for yourselves. In 2002, the same year, Cobb County School District voted to put stickers on textbooks with a message including the admonition, cautioning students that evolution is only a theory. Plaintiffs brought suit on separation of church and state grounds, with the initial trial finding for the plaintiffs, obviously Salmon. Cobb County School District appealed, and the verdict was overturned and remanded for a new trial, at which time the plaintiffs and Cobb County School District reached an out-of-court settlement, with the district agreeing to remove the stickers. And what year did you release the video? Let's have a look. Oh, 2019. 7 years. 7 years after the stickers were removed. It's not going well for you so far, is it?
Do you know, if you were to take the sentiments of that sticker and you were to look at the evidences for evolution with an open mind, and you study them carefully and you critically consider them?
Why do you go like evidences? You've already made your mind up. You tell us to look at things with an open mind, and you've already made your mind up that evolution is absolutely nothing. There's no evolution whatsoever. God created everything in 6 days, and the Earth's only about 6,000 years old. Amazing, amazing. You're trying to brainwash people, and it's not fair. You're not going to show any evidences for creationism at all. But, we'll carry on. I'm hungry already. I need coffee.
What you would find is these evidences don't prove evolution at all.
How many more bloody times? Do you know, science doesn't prove things. I've said it many, many times before. It gives us the best explanation to the limits of our knowledge at that particular time. And like I said earlier in the video, evolution has more evidence for it than any other theory out there. For instance, Big Bang or other such stuff that I can't remember at the minute. But yeah, like planetary formation and stuff. We only have theories for that, but there's more evidence for evolution, like I said, than any other theory. And here you are, just being dishonest again. Stop it.
Here are 6 supposed evidences for evolution that simply are not good reasons to believe in evolution.
What is it with these people? 6 supposed evidences. Actually, I think your thing is wrong. I think it's supposed 6 pieces of evidence. You don't count evidences, do you? Because right, I'm just being picky. I do apologise. But the point is that you say 6 supposed evidences. No, stop it. Again, you're trying to brainwash people, and it's not on. If you think of things with an open mind, or if you look at things critically, like you say, and look at them with an open mind, then you wouldn't be slipping all these little words in. You won't be going like this, evidences and supposed evidences. You won't be doing that. You'd be saying like, go out and find out for yourselves. Go out and do a little bit of research and do this and do that. Stop trying to, subliminally, persuade people to your way of thinking, because it's not going to work.
Number 1, vestigial organs.
Yes, vestigial organs. I must explain. Vestigial organs are like, not actually, they I can say they are organs, but the like you can count tissues or cells. So it's organs that were once useful that are not useful anymore. And if anybody makes a joke about my willy, you get blocked.
In 1865, a German anatomist named Robert Wiedersheim said that he discovered 185 different useless or virtually useless organs in the body.
I'm warning you, anybody mentions my willy, and you're out.
And he said this was evidence of evolution. In fact, the argument goes that if humans evolved, then they would have had at one time organs that an animal would have used in a certain way, but would no longer be used in that way in the human body, and those organs would begin to atrophy and start to be useless.
Start to be useless, like your appendix, for instance, or wisdom teeth, or goosebumps, or your tailbone. All of them are pretty much useless, but they weren't useless millions and millions of years, or hundreds of thousands of years ago. Oh, get with it, man.
The problem with this vestigial organ idea is that there are 2 reasons it cannot prove evolution. Number 1, if you did have vestigial organs in your body, that wouldn't prove evolution.
Evidence for evolution, not proof. Evidence.
You see, evolution has to go from a single-celled organism to a human.
I'm a bit confused now. Are you saying that a single-celled organism went from a single-celled organism straight to human, evolved, didn't change into anything else or whatever? Are you saying that went from a single-celled organism to human being? Because that's not what evolution teaches. Here's a simplified version of what evolution teaches.
And you don't need organs that are decaying and atrophying. You need evolution to produce new organs.
No, we don't need evolution to produce new organs. Evolution doesn't mean that it's constantly adding information. It doesn't mean that. Evolution just means that you're adapting to your environment. That's all. When fish just went, when people just crawled into the sea, then they started developing fins and losing the limbs and everything like that, and they started adapting to their environment, which is water. When we first crawled out of the sea, we had legs. We didn't have legs when we first crawled out of the sea, obviously, but we started to develop legs. We started to evolve legs because we were adapting to our environment. Evolution just doesn't mean like, oh crikey, new organs. I have difficulty breathing sometimes, so why have I not developed a third lung? Because evolution doesn't work that way.
We should find wings that are almost ready to allow organisms to fly that can't yet fly.
Well, no, not really, because penguins can't fly, emus can't fly, ostriches can't fly, and they have fully formed wings. Well, penguins are different, aren't they? They fly through the water. They use the wings to fly through the water. So, telling a bit of a lie. No, but ostriches, they can't fly. Chickens can't fly very well, and they have wings, fully formed wings. Like I said, ostriches can't fly. Whales have limbs, and they can't walk. So, your argument it's invalid, really, isn't it?
We should find new visionary optical connections in living organisms that don't have them. We should see things adding information, not losing genetic information.
Well, I've just explained evolution isn't all about adding new information, or losing information. It's not all about that. It's not what evolution teaches. Again, you're being dishonest.
And the second problem with the vestigial organ argument is that 185 list of vestigial organs, it began to dwindle very rapidly. When we started looking more closely into them, and it became 180 and then 175, and then do you know, as we look more into the body, we realize that those vestigial organs were very useful, many of them extremely useful.
Really? Wisdom teeth are useful, are they? Millions of years ago they were useful because they were chewing vegetation off the things, chewing bark off the trees and everything. So that's when they were useful. My tailbone isn't particularly useful. My willy isn't particularly useful. But that's a human trait. I've gone and admitted it now, haven't I? Anyway, whales have limbs. They're not useful, are they? Like I said, ostriches have wings. They aren't particularly useful either, apart from showing off and attracting a mate. I give up.
Number two, the idea of homology. We're told that similarity proves ancient ancestry. And what I simply mean by that is we're told that because humans have similar physical characteristics to certain animals, that proves that they evolved from animals.
Do you know, if you say dogs produce dogs, I'm going to fall out with you big time. Similarity, it's not just looking like something. It's in the genes as well. It's in the DNA as well. Like over 98%, we share over 98% of our DNA with chimps. That is evidence, not proof, because we're not claiming proof. That is evidence that we have a common ancestor. An ape-like creature millions of years ago. That's where we came from. I'm losing the will to live, and I bet you are too. Sorry, there's a bit more to go yet.
Well, similarity doesn't prove evolution at all. In fact, you could see things that are similar and you would realize that those similarities are often caused by a common designer.
Well, no, because squirrels are rodents, rats are rodents, mice are rodents. Now, you'd say that rats and mice were similar, but you wouldn't say a squirrel and a rat look the same, but they're from the same family. The same from, obviously the rodent family. I mean, would you say a Great Dane and a little Chihuahua were similar? No. but they are both dogs. Simple. I don't know why you're not getting this. Even a northern numpty like me gets it. Ow. Ow.
Suppose there were a supernatural intelligent designer and he created a world where many organisms would need to drink the same water, eat the same kinds of food, walk over the same types of terrain. What would happen? Well, obviously, he would use similarities, similar structures to accomplish his goals. Similarity doesn't prove common ancestry. In fact, similarity argues more for a common creator than anything else.
So this common creator then, why did he give whales limbs if they're absolutely useless? Why did he give me a tailbone that's absolutely useless? That's absolutely useless. Why did he give me a will?
Supposed evidence for evolution number 3, the fossil record.
He's at it again. Supposed evidence. How dishonest is this man?
You know what we're told is that you can look into the fossil record and you can find proof that organisms evolved over millions of years. Supposedly, we're told that you can find transformational organisms that prove this animal evolved into some other kind of animal.
You don't mean transitional fossils, because I can't find anything on transformational fossils. I think that you slipped that word in to indicate or to try and brainwash people into thinking that it's magic, like transform magic. That's what I think. I think you've deliberately slipped that into there, and I still think that you're being dishonest.
But if you were to take that seriously and you were to go to the fossil record, what you would find is that those transformational fossils are missing on a grand scale. In fact, evolutionist Mark Ridley stated that no real evolutionist, whether gradualist or punctuationist, uses the fossil record as evidence in favor of the theory of evolution as opposed to special creation. Now, why would he say that?
He didn't. I can't find that quote anywhere. What I did find, when I did a little bit of research, what I did find was this quote, his most famous quote.
Well, he would say that because when you look at the fossil record, you see organisms coming into the fossil record fully formed. You see a stage of stasis where they do not change, and then they go out of the fossil record without evolving into anything else, exactly as the creation model would predict. The fossil record does not prove evolution.
So we don't have any transitional fossils, do we not? I found some.
Number 4, the idea of mutations. We're told that mutations prove you could get a certain single-celled organism to mutate over multiplied millions of years and bring about new information on a grand scale that, given enough time, you could get a human being.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it will take millions of years, but the human, from cell to human being, like I've shown before, goes through many, many, many different stages. It just doesn't go from cell and then millions of years later, without going through anything, suddenly you'll find a human being. Evolution doesn't teach that. It goes through many different stages and many different things. I need coffee.
What's the problem with that line of reasoning? The problem is that mutations don't give us new information.
Yes, they do.
Mutations can only take information that is already available and cause it to decay. Mutations are an example of a loss of genetic information.
No, they're not. See, number 1, my debunk of explanation number 1, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. Or pause the video and read each one of those pieces of evidence that I've just given you. And then another example, I think there's a certain breed of monkey or chimpanzee that is immune to HIV because of a mutation in its protein. I think it's called TRIM or TRM. I can't remember the name of it. Like I said, I'm doing this on the fly. On the fly? You'll see why I'm laughing in a minute. Yeah, so check that out if you need to. I forgot to check it out actually. Well, like I said, I'm doing some of this from memory, but there is a monkey out there, or a species of monkey, that's immune to HIV because of a mutation in its, or in addition to its protein, a specific protein. So, yeah, you're debunked, mate.
Let me give you an example. For the last 100 years or more now, scientists have been studying fruit flies. They are great examples of how you can mutate an organism. We have been zapping these fruit flies with radiation and mutating them in chemical ways for more than 100 years now. The reason that they are so valuable to study is because you can get a new generation every 14 days. We have in that 100-year period the equivalent of what would be millions of years of evolutionary time. And what do you have after all the radiation and mutation? Do you have a fruit fly that has evolved new genetic information? No, you don't. In fact, all you still have is a fruit fly. It hasn't evolved into anything else. Mutations don't prove evolution. That's simply not the mechanism that could get a single-celled organism to a human.
Evolution is exactly the mechanism to get from single-celled organism through many, many stages to get to humans. But it does take a while, a good few billion years. That's a long time.
Number 5, English peppered moths. We're told that English peppered moths provide an example of evolution in action. You see, before the Industrial Revolution, there were 2 varieties of English peppered moths. One dark-colored, one light-colored, but the light-colored was much higher in ratio than the dark-colored. But after the Industrial Revolution, the dark-colored became the more prominent color and the light, the fewer in the mix. And we're told that's because birds could see the light-colored better, etc. And this was supposedly an example of natural selection. The problem with this example is, number one, many of the pictures were faked because the English peppered moths don't often land on tree trunks, and the entire idea was flawed in that way.
Pictures were fake, were they? Oh, no, don't tell me you're a flat earther as well. That's the excuse that flat earthers come out with. That picture behind your right shoulder shows 2 moths on a tree trunk, and they don't normally land on there, but you've just shown 2 moths land on a tree trunk. Orcs.
But the second problem was that before the Industrial Revolution, the genetic information in the English peppered moth genome had genetic information for 2 varieties, light-colored and dark-colored, and after the genetic information was the same. English peppered moths simply do not prove evolution.
No one said that they did. It's evidence for evolution. And I can't find anything about the last 2 points that you made. I can't find anything online regarding that. I did find, however, something like this.
And number 6, horse evolution. If you were to look in your biology textbooks, you would see that horse evolution is often used as evidence that evolution really occurred. You would see a picture of a very small animal, almost looks like a fox or something like that, evolving into modern horse. But this scenario, it's fabricated. It's not true. It was made up. In fact, more than 50 years ago, Dr. George Gaylord Simpson
Gaylord
said the uniform continuous transformation of Hyracotherium into Equus, so dear to the hearts of generations of textbook writers, never happened in nature.
I can't find that quote. I can't even find the book, let alone the quote.
You see, this information that's presented to us as proof that evolution actually occurred is not proof at all.
Evidence, not proof. Evidence.
If we look at it with an open mind and we study it carefully and we critically consider it, we'll realize that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth and all of the organisms, and evolution just simply didn't play any part in God's creation.
Look at things with a critical and open mind. You've just absolutely tried destroying evolution, and you've offered no evidence whatsoever of for creation. Not a single shred. All you're saying is God did it, and you provided no evidence whatsoever. I'm done with this clown. That's him. Done. Debunked. Well, I wouldn't say debunked because he didn't offer any evidence to debunk, especially not for creationism. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for joining me. Please drop us a like. Please drop us a sub. Because there's more things to come on this channel. So for now, see ya.